Hey, you're wide receiver Khalil Shakir, right?
I sure am, kid. Here, go long.
Whoa! You're pretty good at football, man.
And you guys are pretty good at pizza.
Oh, sick. Dude.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Postgame Show podcast presented by Picasso's Pizza. The Buffalo Bills defeat the Detroit Lions 48-42 in a thrilling afternoon of football. The party's going on at Rec Room. Slick and Maniac are here with me. Guys, how are we feeling?
Folks, it's not just a commercial. Khalil Shakir is pretty damn good at football. Maniac, I mean, this is up and down the whole way, but we got the dub. A lot of scoring. How are we feeling?
It was only up and down that second half. Micah, to me, this felt like a chess match where one of the players struck a couple of big early moves, and from then on, it was just, like foxtrotting on the dance floor. I think it was just back and forth with the offenses. The Bills took that early lead. Yeah, it looked a little shaky there early in the second half, maybe, but they cruised in that second half, and in the last third of the game, Micah, was easy work on those Detroit Lions.
Yeah, man, it was. I mean, they came out swinging right away, and really, it could have been a 35-14 lead if it doesn't get to the ridiculousness. The one negative that you can talk about with this offense today, it could have been a 21-point lead at halftime going into it, and even with still, the only thing that can stop the Bills, and this has been a theory for the last 5 years, honestly, and I think it sticks true. The only team that can beat the Bills is themselves. And that was the truth today. This is the only time that negative things happened was when they beat themselves. In the second half, they were willing to give up points to the Lions. They really didn't care. They're like, you keep coming down the field, take your time, like take your 16-play, 2-minute drive, whatever. We're just going to outlast you. And that's basically what they've done all year, just in different ways.
It sucks for us as fans because it's not like they accept it, and we know that. But that's been the case for the past few years, that the Bills, they only ever beat themselves. And I was saying to Maniac, we're usually a second-half team, and the second half was the disappointing part, where they just kept climbing up the ladder rung by rung, and we just did enough to scrape by. I know the defense was depleted, and we didn't have as much, but Josh Allen, another MVP performance, Maniac.
Yeah, in case you were worried about that Lamar Jackson cakewalk he got against the Daboll Giants. By the way, all of Bill's Twitter telling me about Daboll the last 2.5 years. I don't give a shit what the Shane train did. Daboll is an absolute mess as a head coach. You're all idiots. Everyone should honestly log off forever if they were talking about how good Daboll was going to be.
Hey, but it's not
With that said,
an
an amazing performance. Big Ugly, get in here.
He missing his
Big
phone.
Ugly, how was the vibe at Rec Room today?
Say that again?
How was the vibe at Rec Room today?
Oh, it was a great vibe, the best vibe ever. You feel me? Especially because the Bills won, of course.
They were dominating
Oh, yeah.
all day. Josh Allen was doing his thing.
Oh, all the time. They can't stop him. Nobody can stop him.
Ain't no stopping this train. Thank you, Big Ugly.
Nobody.
With that said, Micah, another MVP performance from Micah, from Allen, like Slick said. But yeah, it was great to see. Obviously, there was a lot of questioning after last week, but I think the defense came out early. You may look at back-to-back performances allowing 40 or more, but I think that doesn't truly tell the tale about this game and what ultimately happened. I think the Bills seized the opportunity early, and it was a cakewalk from there.
Well, you have to play to the game that's been played. Like, you have to play with the hand that's been dealt with you, right? I think that's what Sean McDermott's greatest strength as a coach is, being adaptable. That's the thing. And he was adaptable today. They knew they had to play in a shootout today. What we got? How we feeling?
We got to guess. So we're talking about
feeling?
how the Bills adapted down the stretch and were able to overcome adversity despite the comeback of the Lions.
It's the Bills. They're always going to win. That's it.
Right, but we were saying they're a second-half team usually, but the second half was problematic today.
It's just Josh Allen's going to get a lot more confidence. He's always going to ball out.
That's facts.
And he's just showing you what they can really do. They're a Super Bowl team, and it's going to be the Bills for the Super Bowl.
And is Josh a lock for MVP?
He's most definitely.
Does train ever stop?
And to me, he's in comparison to like Mike Vick. He can run and he can throw.
That's facts.
Let's go Bills.
Go Bills.
Thank you, bro.
Go Bills, baby. Yo, Josh Allen had 430 total yards today.
That was quite the comparison.
That's impressive. That's pretty good.
No, Slick, there was a stat that came up during the day that Allen, the last whatever. I don't remember what the exact stat was, but the only 3 quarterbacks that have done it is Josh Allen, Mike Vick, and Jalen Hurts. Those are the
What
only,
was the stat? Can you repeat it?
It was like, I think it was back-to-back games with 250 passing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. I think that was the stat.
Jeez.
It's Mike Vick, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts. Like, that's what we're talking about here.
I'll tell you what, my boy sent me his same game parlay before the game, and the only leg I was questioning was Josh over 1.5 touchdowns because they had to be rushing, and sure enough, that was the first leg that hit, that he had the parlay, and then it hit for plus 3,300, Maniac. Crazy.
Yeah. Whoa. We just lost a little stability on the camera here. It's okay. Rec Room is a scene. With that said, yeah, I mean, it just felt like beginning to end, this Joe Brady offense was in control of what they wanted to do. There, yes. I mean, we maybe punted once, right? Did we punt once?
I think we got one. Let's see here.
I think it was a quick 3 and out.
51-yarder, yeah.
And that makes it all the better when you add that extra 11 yards onto that 40, of course. But yeah, the Joe Brady offense was in control beginning to end today. Josh Allen masterclass, like you said.
And the contributors, we had the Josh Allen game where he had 68 yards rushing. James Cook had 100 yards rushing, 105. He has 2 touchdowns. Ty Johnson has 114 yards receiving. Dawson Knox with 2 huge catches. We can just guarantee he gets that. I didn't know Kincaid 4 for 53. Like, I didn't even think he had that big of an impact. But he was just there, like, doing his thing. And then Coleman has the huge catch. That was one of the best throws I've ever seen Josh Allen have in my life.
Yeah, I mean, and anytime he rolls to his right, that's like and when Josh Allen is rolling to his right at this point, that's like in the James Bond sequence when he's walking up, like, into that middle, like, oh, he's about to turn and fire, and somebody's in trouble.
When he's walking down the empty alleyway before the music starts and they do the bullet cam with the blood coming in. 007, that's Josh Allen, baby, except put a 1 in front of it. That's our MVP, baby. I mean, he just put a stamp on it. I said a couple weeks ago, if he goes into Detroit and wins and balls out, it's a wrap. MVP's not a question anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big answer back. Let's face it. Lamar put up 5 touchdowns. He put up 300 yards in the early slate. So if Allen was going to keep pace, he needed at least 300, 350, plus a couple TDs here, and he obviously did more than that.
Did what he had to do.
It was awesome. I mean, and it was just like plays that he could only make in this game too. Defensively, though, like you said, Bills gave him a lot of yards. Goff had 494. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 193. Laporta had 111. It was a big game through the air, but it was a lot of that second half inflated time where the Detroit's just chasing and the Bills are letting up big chunks and everything. It's crazy though. But the Bills 11-3. 2 games back of the Chiefs with 3 weeks left. How are we feeling about the race for the 1 seed?
I mean, it's tough to be a game back, let alone 2. But Chiefs today obviously just got their first convincing win in quite a while. Jameis Winston gets benched, not expecting all that, but it's tough. But here we are. Sorry, I was just sketching out because Big Ugly disappeared with my phone for like 10 minutes, and I thought he wasn't coming back, but he's back, so I'm more confident. But how do you feel about the race for the 1 seed in the AFC?
In the NFC?
AFC.
In the AFC, well, no. The Chiefs winning today, the Browns did us absolutely no favors. Absolute hooligans in Cleveland, as always. I swear to God, anytime the Bills need anything out of the AFC North, whether it was the Steelers, Ravens last year, or whether it was the Browns today, they always drop absolute duds. The AFC North is a joke. Bunch of losers. That's why they won't be doing anything anytime soon. And that's why they haven't done anything lately. With that said, as far as this was a big day for the 2 seed, obviously, because we take that 1 game lead over the Steelers, Micah, even though we keep pace with the Chiefs at the very least.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, I'm going to hold out hope. I'm going to choose to do this. It's been a great year for the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs down the next 3 games. The Browns, listen.
Ugly.
We tried to hype it up before, but it's the Browns we're talking about here, right? Like,
I mean, but the spread got me. The spread got me
too.
3.5, 4. I mean, like, that had to be a trap. But the second the game started, you could just see that the Browns had no hope on offense.
Yeah, that was
yes. I mean, Jameis getting benched is crazy. But the next 3 weeks, Texans next Saturday. All right, at noon. Well, noon for me, 1 for you guys. At the Steelers, Christmas Day, and then at the Denver Broncos. That is a tough 3-game stretch. It's tough as it can get in the AFC. They might be 16-1 after it. I'm not going to sit here and say like I would be surprised, but you got to admit at the very least that those 3 games they're difficult in different ways for the Chiefs.
We keep talking about the Chiefs having difficult games. The problem is we're running out of runway. We're running out of runway.
This is it. There's three teams. 2 of them leading their division, 1 a division rival who already almost beat them this year. Like that's as good of a chance as you're going to get. That's what we're talking about. So we'll see. I still think the Bills are alive there, and the Bills got to handle business on their own. We got the New England Patriots in town next week, and Drake.
Yeah, and by the way, so you saw who was it? The Broncos were playing the Colts. They fell behind 10-0 early. They ultimately won 31.
You know what the Colts lost? The Colts had 4 turnovers in that game, including a play. Did you see the play that they had?
No,
They had a double pass. Richardson to Downs. Downs tries to throw it back to Richardson. Pick 6. That was one of the plays that the
little
that's
Indianapolis
not good. That's
special.
not good.
Not good. Not good at all.
But people talk about the Broncos like a team that can beat the Bills, and quite frankly, I just think there's no shot. You can put me on the record on that. Coming into Buffalo as a 2 versus a 7, so that's why I talk about why getting that 2 really is crucial. You solidify yourself. You don't have to face Kansas City the second week, no matter what, because it looks like Kansas City is going to get that 1. I'm sorry, folks. It's like a Thanos thing. It feels inevitable.
And here's the thing. I'm ready.
I'm
ready for this.
But look at. All the analysts, and I know you're jumping at the gun here,
go ahead.
Micah, but it just feels like all the analysts agree. Tony Romo even said it. He goes, the Chiefs might have the most wins, but right now it feels like Josh Allen out of everybody is playing the best football. So McDermott let him ride today. How about that? Go for it at the 50. That was pretty early in the game.
That had me sketching out, man.
That's how you set the tone.
Yeah, I think that was a big tone setter. Big balls McDermott right there.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
Whole conversation.
Go ahead.
No, the whole conversation coming in was the coaching battle. Dan Campbell, Sean McDermott. Who would you rather have? These 2 guys are very disciplined and make ballsy decisions, but when it comes down to it, sometimes they pay off, and that happened to pay off for McDermott early in the game, Maniac.
Yeah, Campbell was aggressive.
Indeed. And he usually is, because he does those like 4th.
I mean, the declared onside kick with 12 minutes, if we could talk about it, that was a little bit of a surrender flag on defense. I mean, that was basically like, we know we're not going to stop you. And then they basically got the worst result. They basically threw up on their own face. Mac Hollins tips it to himself. A little tip to himself. That's like a porn star move. But then all of a sudden we're inside the 10 again for an easy tunny. That was insane.
Detroit tone.
Motown, more like No Town.
Motown Mac?
No one's playing like that man this year. That's a fact. It is what it is. The onside, we're talking about Josh Allen. The onside kick, it was ballsy. I mean, that's something you do in like Madden. It sucks though, because I hate this kicking rule, because it should be a surprise onside kick. That should have been a moment where we don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
What they need to do, it needs
kick.
to be like challenges where you get like 2 or 3 surprise ones a season, and those just count for sure.
The declaring was crazy, and then Tony Romo immediately was like, "Oh, they're going for a surprise onside kick." It's like, dude, did you not just like your commentator just said that like they're declaring? Why are you getting all fucking pumped up? It's crazy, but yeah, I hate that rule too. Got to keep it a surprise if you need. Shout out Pat McAfee for the invention of the surprise onside.
That's facts. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that there's no one playing to the level of Allen that right now, at least at the quarterback position. I mean, you could say Saquon Barkley might be like a singular force on the level of it, but it's not the same as what Allen's doing for the Bills. And it's just, if he can do that, through January and keep that level of play up, they're going to have as good a chance as anybody else in the league, and they're definitely going to be at the top power rankings this week and everything else. I'm starting to think, here's my narrative, here's my copium if they don't get the 1 seed.
Oh no.
You ready for this? They have to exercise the Arrowhead demon. They have to go into Arrowhead and beat them in Arrowhead. Like, you just have to, like, it has to do it. If you're going to get through it, that's the sports catharsis, sports karma way, is you go in there for the championship game and win it there. It would feel so good. Like I think that and if that's what it lines up to be, I'm not going to be afraid of it. They can go in there, win that game. We've seen it multiple times over the last 6 years.
Yeah,
Agreed, for
ultimately, I mean, you look at it right. If you were going to say, can I carve out the perfect postseason for any Bills fan? Obviously, you win at Arrowhead for the AFC Championship or something after a bunch of rounds. You would prefer they get knocked out. You would think they could get knocked out by any team.
It's true.
But ultimately, as a 2, I mean, if you beat the Broncos, which who have been in that spot for a while, then you face, say, the Ravens or the Chargers. The Ravens, obviously, would be the Lamar Jackson MVP factor. The Chargers, Jake Herbert's always been the kind of, Josh Allen heir apparent, cannon arm, can kind of run all over, but has never extended to that level. You beat them. You beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Then ultimately, I think, I hate to say it after this game because I know it's tough to beat a team twice, but I think you probably have to face this team again in the Super Bowl if you really want the ultimate showdown.
Here's the thing, and I said this going into this game this week. The Bills and Lions, no matter how good these teams are, we know the chaos that comes with Bills games. Lions fans know the chaos that comes with theirs games. This did not let down to that chaos factor. This game was ridiculous, 48-42.
Underbetters got fucking wrecked.
Destroyed.
That was tough.
Destroyed.
So funny.
So if this was a Super Bowl, that game would be the most ridiculous Super Bowl probably.
Oh, advertisers would be hitting themselves with money shots with those commercial breaks and those stoppages. I mean, it would be unbelievable.
They were really selling on CBS, the game of the year, the Super Bowl preview. They were going all in with
the Bills have been a ratings fucking factory this season and the last 3 seasons.
Crazy.
Bills fans, as it is, are owed the ultimate payback. So, but anyways, this was it. This was the stretch, right? You had Rams, Lions, and now you have 3 games where you should be favored by 6 to 7 points at least. So it should not say it should be cruise control from here. There's no such thing. But that was the gauntlet. I think to go 1-1 over the Rams and Lions stretch was a win in itself, Slick.
Yeah, absolutely. We all thought the L, if anything, was going to come at the cost of the Lions, but got it on the West Coast with the time change, and now we beat the best team in the NFC in some people's minds in Labatt Blues preview as the Super Bowl preview. So here we got upper hand there. Prove that they're not what's the word?
No free ads.
They're beatable. So we did that. We just beat 2 of the best teams that no one thought they could beat in the league, and here we are sitting pretty. Sure, we're game down on the Chiefs, but come on, man.
Text from my dad after this game was Bills beat the 2 number 1 seeds in the AFC and NFC. So what does that make them?
And ultimately the Bills are like that Brock Lesnar, that Drew McIntyre, that kind of that roaming force that at any time they can beat anybody, but they just know that any team that's facing them knows the one thing looming over the Bills is they haven't won the big one. So the Chiefs will always have that in their back pocket. The Lions obviously haven't done it either. Lamar Jackson hasn't done it either. So let's just stay away from the Chiefs for as long as possible for now and let the rest take the care of itself.
If this was a college football playoff committee, what would the Bills be ranked this week? Would they be number 1? 2 of the best wins. They have 3 losses, but they have the 2 best wins.
And they beat the Chiefs 4 weeks ago. It feels like forever ago. It was literally 4 to 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'd go 2 if anything. Because
they'd have to be 2 just because.
They put the Chiefs there still? Chiefs 1, Bills 2?
Maybe. I don't
know. Or
know.
Eagles 1.
Yeah, because they went Bills 1, Chiefs 2 after the Bills won. And then when the Bills lost, they swapped them.
Yeah, that would make sense. And the Eagles are a team that we're gonna have to think about. That team is
they're looking, and that's a ferocious run attack. If you have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown both healthy, they're an absolute fucking squad. And you want to talk about playoff experience? I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, and the Steelers might be falling off a little bit. The Steelers have a tough game. They play against Baltimore on Saturday as well. That's a huge game. The division is up for grabs there still, potentially if the Steelers lose that one. So big game there. The Eagles The Eagles are at the Commanders this week too, which is a pretty interesting game. But yeah, so they're terrifying if we're looking at Super Bowl things, which I think we should be thinking about. Like, don't enjoy it and believe what they're going to do. Like,
you got to enjoy this for the next
any chance. Yes.
You got to enjoy this for the next 24 hours. But yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, you got to look back tomorrow, at what 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and you got to get ready for what is it? New England at home.
Patriots.
New England at home. That should be an enjoyable experience, but at the same time, you still got to prepare and get ready to face a divisional opponent.
New England lost today in Arizona 30-17. They lost 4 in a row. Drake May 19-23, 202 yards, touchdown and a pick.
McDermott versus rookie quarterbacks. Enough said.
It's good. Yeah,
we don't even. Really
and then we're gonna put Rodgers. You just send him off into the forest, into wherever his into the jungle, wherever he needs to go.
I'm gonna take him into the jungle.
Take him into the jungle. Put him out there.
The Bills took down the jungle today. They took down the king of the jungle, the Lions.
King of the jungle, the one that roars the loudest, and he didn't have anything to say.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know he's probably just getting to the podium right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we got some Dan Campbell tears, because that was a fucking football game.
I don't know about tears, but
he loved that. He was like, "What a
at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was just a hell of a matchup. Like, and he appreciates a good matchup. Like, and I appreciate Dan Campbell. I mean, this is a guy who, if I told you coming in, the Lions put up 42 on the Bills, you go, the Bills are in fucking trouble.
Yeah.
But instead, we're feeling good right now because we have Joshua, most valuable Patrick Allen at quarterback.
Yeah, it feels pretty damn good to have him at quarterback. That is for sure. A lot of people roasted Dan Campbell on Twitter right now, being mean. So we won't roast Dan.
No, there's no need to roast him. He's fucking amazing. We just said he probably loved that game, but
he's getting roasted. Josh, the MVP's locked up. Slick, you should cash that thing in right now. Like, you're set.
Yeah,
buddy.
Slick is a daddy with that bet.
That was a beast move. Honestly, it was bound to happen. And this year, it's locked up. Today was amazing. Like he's in full control, where he is in control of the game and knows when to do the highlight superstar shit and pull it off. Like,
true. He knows when to put the cape on, as they say.
Balance. Exactly. Yeah. Well, guys, anything else before we go here? How you guys feeling at Rec Room tonight? What's the vibe here for Sunday night?
Great vibes. Rec Room. Sunday night vibes. We're ready. With that said, was there any injuries that made us? Let's go Rec Room. Let's fucking go. Did we miss anything? Did anybody get nicked up?
Matt Milano groin injury left the game. That's why Balin Spector was playing for the last quarter and a half. So probably precautionary. Groin injury probably means they ramped him up a little too quickly. Maybe he shouldn't have played every game for the last couple weeks, every snap for the last couple weeks, but they can manage that over the next couple weeks and get him ready for the playoffs, which is the important time anyways.
Hell yeah, that's all that matters once it comes down to that. I know Labatt Blue is already planning for the Super Bowl preview between these two teams today. And here we are, Buffalo Bills coming out on top. Love to see that, bouncing back after the West Coast L, and Rec Room is getting quiet, so I think we got to wrap it up here.
What do you mean? They're getting refreshed, ready for Sunday Night Football.
Well, Big Ugly has my phone. I'm sketching out, so.
All
right. Well, fellas, enjoy your Sunday night. Folks, enjoy your Sunday night. We'll be back this week with Trainwreck Tonight and a bunch of other everything we got locked in. I'm sure there's some great content from Rec Room today. So for Maniac, Slick, Jake, Micah, this was the Postgame Show podcast presented by Picasso's Pizza. Go Bills.
Oh, but how the Sabres do?
Bills.
Don't even ask about the Sabres.